the new G-Class in Beijing in less than 3 weeks. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot going on at Mercedes, and that's why we also expect to once again surpass the record sales result of last year this year. As things stand today, we anticipate the overall market to grow by 4% this year, and we want to outpace that growth. At Daimler Trucks, business is also off to a good start in 2012, as demonstrated by the provisional sales numbers for the first 3 months of this year. During that period, we sold about 107,000 trucks worldwide. That's a 20% increase compared to last year. Daimler Trucks North America made a significant contribution to this increase in sales. From January to March, our sales rose by 41% in the NAFTA region, reasserting our market leadership in the segment of medium and heavy-duty trucks, reasserting it and expanding it. And this success is very timely, given that our time-honored US brand Freightliner celebrates its 70th anniversary this year. Let me take this opportunity to wish that great brand a happy birthday. Of the 70 years of Freightliner's existence, more than 30 have been spent as part of Daimler, and during this time it has produced many new ideas for pioneering trucks, and that's reason enough for a VIP visit. And in fact, President Obama came to our plant in Mount Holly, North Carolina, less than a month ago, and the president was quick to praise the quality of our colleagues' work. He said, and I quote, "Now here at Daimler, you're not just building trucks, you're building better trucks." I don't want to contradict him there. Overall, we are optimistic for continued improvement in the market for medium and heavy-duty trucks in the NAFTA region. For the full year, we anticipate a 15 to 20% growth in sales. We also have good news coming in from Fuso, where the positive development of the last year continued in the first 3 months of this year. In Europe and Latin America, on the other hand, we sold 5% fewer trucks through March than we did during the same period of 2011. In Brazil, sales decreased mainly due to weaker demand caused by the introduction of stricter emission standards. For the full year, the Brazilian market is likely to be down by 10 to 15%. In Europe, the debt crisis continued to have a noticeable effect. With the subdued outlook for the Western European economy, we anticipate the best case to be the stabilization of commercial truck demand at last year's level. In any event, we want to improve our market share in the Eurozone. Our main means of achieving the same is the new Actros. At the same time, we are taking another big step this year in the direction of new markets. At the beginning of last month, we presented the first trucks of our Mercedes-Benz brand. These are trucks which we are developing and producing in India, specifically for India. On the one hand, they are much more basically equipped than is usually the case in the triad markets. On the other hand, they offer a much higher level of quality and fuel efficiency than most of the typical trucks in India today. Between 2010 and 2020, this segment is expected to grow by around 40% annually, and we have an excellent chance of capturing a significant share of this growth. 2 weeks from today, Andreas Rentschler and I will attend the opening ceremony of our plant in Chennai. The first trucks will roll off the assembly line there in the third quarter. On the whole, from today's perspective, we expect sales to once again increase at Daimler Trucks during full year 2012. Now, how do things currently look at Mercedes-Benz vans? Well, the answer depends on which region you look at. In North America, our sales rose by 23% in the first 3 months of the year. In Latin America, the increase was 10%, despite the Sprinter's upcoming model changeover there. By contrast, sales in Europe declined by 8%. In spite of this, we are confident that our full year 2012 Eurozone sales will remain on par with last year's. And here we'll get a boost from our new Citan city van, which will be unveiled at the IAA Commercial Vehicle Show in Hanover this September. With Citan, we'll go on the offensive in the small van segment. The total volume of this segment is around 700,000 vehicles, and in the medium term, we want to capture about 4 to 5% of this market. The Sprinter will write yet another chapter in its international success story. We will, for example, soon introduce the van's current model generation in Latin America, and this model has been rolling off the assembly line in China since the end of last year. On the whole, we therefore expect the positive trend at our van division to continue in 2012. Our bus division sold, once again according to provisional figures, around 5,000 units during the first 3 months of this year, so sales were therefore lower than in the same period of last year. This was mainly due to the fact that many customers in the important Brazilian market were hesitant to purchase following the introduction of the Euro 5 emission standard. In Western Europe and in the US, sales of complete buses remained at the previous year's levels in spite of continued weak demand from public sector customers. Globally, we are still the #1 in the bus business, and we intend to stay there. To ensure we will put many new products on the road this year, including the next generation of Zetsche touring coaches. Then in addition, we launched a global growth and efficiency offensive at the beginning of the year, and this offensive encompasses a whole bundle of measures. They range from the optimization of our production network to activities for stimulating sales. However, in view of the current developments, we expect sales to still slightly decline in our core markets in full year 2012. The figures for Daimler Financial Services are also provisional. However, they already show that this division seamlessly continued its record-setting performance of the previous year. New business totaled 8.2 billion euros in the first quarter. It was thus up significantly over the same period of last year. Contract volume continued at record levels. The insurance business once again demonstrated dynamic growth. In the first 3 months, we brokered 220,000 contracts and thus set another new record. With the launch of our compact car offensive, we expect to generate additional financing and leasing business in the future. Because after all, younger customers are much more likely to opt for financing than older customers. Moreover, we expect our growth to also receive a boost from our mobility services, which were recently consolidated at Financial Services. At the previous annual meetings, I have given you regular updates on the most prominent example of these services. That's our car-sharing program, Car2Go. With this program, we have already made more than 70,000 people the world over automobile without requiring them to actually buy a smart. Spur-of-the-moment short-term rentals, down-to-the-minute billing via cell phone, convenience and flexibility. Those are the hallmarks and attributes of this first and most successful car-sharing program offered by an automaker. At the end of April, the program will be launched here in Berlin as well. The 1,000 smarts operating throughout the city here, the German capital, will then constitute the biggest Car2Go fleet to date. Initially, these cars will be powered by conventional drives, but later on the fleet will also include all electric vehicles. If you like, you can register here at our Car2Go desk. And we now also offer a rental service for longer trips. Under the name of Mercedes-Benz Rent, Mercedes-Benz vehicles can be rented at select sales centers in Germany and Europe. This is yet another way of attracting new customers to our cars. As you can see, we are geared for growth in our service division as well, and we expect this trend to continue over the entire year. Ladies and gentlemen, due to the positive developments in the individual divisions, we do confirm our full-year forecast for Daimler as a group. We expect continued significant sales growth as well as further revenue growth. At the same time, we will continue to invest heavily in the future. In 2012 and 2013 alone, we plan to invest a total of 10.9 billion euros in research and development. An additional 10.6 billion are earmarked for capital expenditures. Sustainable innovation and growth do not come free of charge. Over the medium and long term, this will prove to be money well spent. But of course, these investments are a burden in the short term. That's why 2012 is another transitional year for Daimler. Nonetheless, as far as EBIT from the group's ongoing business operations is concerned, in 2012 we are once again striving to achieve last year's high level. At the same time, we expect the continued and sustainable development of our dividend over the coming years. And that now brings me to our longer-term targets and strategies. As almost all of the developments I've mentioned indicate, Daimler is on its way to achieving top form, but has not yet reached its goal. We know we are capable of doing even better, and that also applies to our share price. If we systematically take advantage of the opportunities we are offered, which I'll talk about in a minute, we are firmly convinced that we will be ahead of our competitors. We aim to be the front runner wherever we compete, and that on a permanent basis. Wherever we are not number one, we will strive to become number one. That's our claim to leadership at Daimler, and that's the foundation on which the specific strategies of our divisions are based. For our passenger cars, we formulated a long-term growth strategy, Mercedes-Benz 2020. With the strongest brand and with the best products, we aim to also become number one in terms of premium segment unit sales by 2020 at the latest. To that end, we will grow profitably on a sustainable basis in all major markets and expand our capacity close to our customers. At Daimler Trucks, we also believe that only the top spot is good enough. That's why the focus of our global excellence strategy is on expanding and updating our product range while taking full advantage of our global reach. We have developed similar plans for our other divisions to maintain or capture the top positions in their respective segments. Here you can see the numerical targets linked to the intermediate goals we will pursue by 2015. For cars, we aim to sell significantly more than 1.6 million Mercedes-Benz brand vehicles. In 2015, last year we planned on sales to reach the 1.5 million mark in 2015. For trucks, we aim to sell more than 500,000 units by 2015. For vans, our sales target is to surpass 400,000 units. For buses, we are planning on sales of about 42,000 units. We plan to increase our financial services business in line with growth at our vehicle divisions. I've already said it at the beginning of my talk. Growth is not an end in itself. It is a means of securing and enhancing our wealth in society by strengthening our position against global competition, by safeguarding jobs at Daimler in spite of continuously increasing productivity, by keeping our company attractive to customers, to employees, and of course also for you as shareholders, and by putting us in the position to play a positive role in society. In order to do all these things, we need profitable growth, and that's why we have set concrete goals for ourselves, not only in terms of sales, but also in terms of returns. Starting as early as next year, we aim to achieve a 9% average return on sales in our automotive business across the business cycles. So we plan to reach 10% at Mercedes-Benz cars, 8% at Daimler Trucks, 9% at Mercedes-Benz vans, and 6% at Daimler buses. The goal at financial services is to post a return on equity of 17%. At vans and financial services, we already achieved or even surpassed these targets in 2011. At cars and trucks, we have been steadily approaching these goals in recent years. Now, to cover the remaining distance and to consolidate our long-term profitability, we have defined 4 strategic growth areas throughout the group. The strengthening of our core business in traditional markets, penetrating new growth markets, enhancing our leading position in environmentally friendly technologies, and developing and implementing new mobility concepts. I'd now like to explain in somewhat greater detail exactly what we are planning to do in each of these areas in the years ahead. So first of all, let's take a look at how we aim to strengthen our core business. The first and most important statement is we will keep our foot on the gas in order to further expand our model range. By 2015, we will be introducing no less than 10 additional models at Mercedes-Benz, and not just at the lower end of the spectrum. Our range of S-Class segment models, which currently consists of the short and long versions of the S-Class sedan as well as the CL Coupe, will be gradually expanded to include 3 additional variants. All of them will be based on our new S-Class, which we'll launch next year. In return, there will be no successor model for the current Maybach. At trucks, we will introduce additional variants of our Actros over the next few years. All will comply with the Euro 6 emission standard. We will also continually update our existing range of vans and buses. We are strengthening our core business also by making continuous improvements to our production processes, for example, by consistently implementing our modular strategy. So, for example, there will be only two different vehicle architectures for all passenger car models in the future, a front and a rear-wheel drive. However, and nevertheless, each individual model will retain its own distinct character, and this will tremendously increase our flexibility. Our hybrid components, electric motors, electronics, and battery systems are also suitable for the most diverse range of vehicles. In fact, they can be used in everything from the C-Class to the S-Class, from the station wagon to sedans, or for gasoline or diesel hybrids. No other automaker is as flexible in this area as we are. In trucks, our main focus is the powertrain, because it accounts for more than half of the total cost of a commercial vehicle. That's why all of our heavy-duty truck engines worldwide are already based on a single platform, and the shared component rate is at approximately 80%, and we are now planning to expand this approach to include, for example, transmissions or axles. Our global production networks represent yet another lever that we can use to boost our efficiency. Here's another example. Until now, we've built the A and B class at only one facility, our plant in Rastatt. In the future, we'll be able to meet global demand for these models at 3 plants. Last Thursday, we celebrated the opening of the plant in our new production facility at Kecskemét in Hungary, and one more plant is to follow in China. Our partnerships are helping us to achieve further cost benefits. The previously mentioned Citan compact van, set for launch this year, will be the first product from our cooperation with Renault Nissan to hit the streets, and the second will be the new Smart in 2014.